The Bad Crypto Podcast is brought to you by our friends at eToro. Check out the new Copy Trader feature that allows you to follow successful traders and do what they do with no effort. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can get $25 in free Bitcoin from Travis and myself. Go to badco.in/eToro for details. That's badco.in/eToro.
Greetings, citizens of the Republic of Bad Cryptopia. Her Royal Highness welcomes you to an episode that would make Agent 007 proud. Blockchain is for everyone, and Sir John Hargrave wants the world to know about the cryptos. So, he has written a book to make it so. Today, Sir John joins the Royal Jesters to discuss how he learned the secrets of the new millionaire class, and you can too. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she doesn't have a lot to say. But Sir John Hargrave does. He has lots of words. And since the Queen didn't accept our invitation to do this show, we'll just listen to him instead. So grab your cup of tea by the crumpets, give it a nice squeeze, and get knighted for just $35. It's episode 315 of the Really, Really Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Mr. Travis Wright, you've been listening to the Beatles channel, haven't you?
That's true, I have. It won't be long until I listen to it again. It won't be long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to the Bad British Crypto Podcast. I'm Joel Comm.
And I'm Sir Travis Wright.
And you are whoever you are. Insert your name here. And we're glad you're here. This is the show for the crypto curious and the crypto serious. And if this is your first time, well, we are the blockchain blockheads, making crypto palatable, tasty even, for those of you that like to get your crypto news, views, and what else rhymes with views?
Snooze. Like you can listen to it when you can listen to it when you snooze.
That's right.
Some people actually do listen to Bad Crypto. We help them go to sleep. We are insomnia busters.
But you're going to want to wake up if you trade your cryptos, and you're going to want to use the eToro app. You know, Europe has had a platform that is trading cryptos that has garnished over 11 million users. That's a lot of users there, gang. Now, in the U.S., Coinbase has been the big one. But guess what? eToro has crossed the pond, and now the eToro app is available for you to download, both for iOS and for Android. And they offer smart trading tools. You can connect with these 11 million other traders around the world. It's easy to use, and you still, I think we're wrapping up this promotion to be able to get free Badcoin socks. So get started today at badco.in/eToro, and you can learn exactly how to get those free Badcoin socks. Do it now.
Or do it later. I mean, we're not rushing you, but
Well, if you want your socks, you better do it now.
It's true. Your footsies do need some socks, and if you don't hurry, you won't get any Badcoin socks. You'll get nothing, and that'll suck.
This is the first time, Travis, that we have had a Sir on this show. Now, we've called people Sir, but this is a legit, real Sir. His name is Sir John Hargrave, and he's got this new book, Blockchain for Everyone. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this.
So I got to call into a point of contention. Is he a legit Sir? Let's find out.
Mr. Travis Wright, we are graced with the presence of a knight.
No, we're not.
Okay, we're not. But you might think we were, because the gentleman who we're welcoming to the show today is not only the CEO of Media Shower, he's not only the publisher of the Bitcoin Market Journal, which is trusted by 100,000 blockchain investors monthly. He's not only the author of the upcoming best-selling book, Blockchain for Everyone, and he is also known as Sir John Hargrave. And Sir John, welcome to Bad Crypto.
Joel, Travis, This is going to be the best episode ever.
Wow. And we have also with us the most confident guest that we've ever had here.
I don't know. I think he's pranking us already.
I think he is too. So we're going to have a really good time with this interview. And I am holding your book, Sir John, in my hands right now that I picked up at Coinvention in Philadelphia, which you did not give me for free. I had to buy it, but then you gave me crypto, which almost the full value of what I bought. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But
let me just tell you this story because I found this really funny. So Joel comes up to the table where we're selling the books, and he goes up like, yeah, I'd love a book. And then I say, sure, it's $25. And this look on your face, it would just, I keep flashing back to this because it was barely perceptible. It was like, really? You're going to charge me for this book, even though I'm going to have you on the show. But then what you got out of it was $25 in crypto. So it's essentially like you're getting the book for free. That's never been done before in the publishing industry. Never.
No, it hasn't. And we're going to tell all you listeners how you can get one of these as well. And you're going to want to and get a crypto rebate, essentially. But John, the first thing I want to ask you is, when did you visit the Queen and get knighted?
Well, the story comes from my first book, which was a humor book called Prank the Monkey. And the idea was I was going to prank the world's largest institutions. So I pranked like Michael Jackson, Madonna, I pranked the IRS, and I pranked the Queen of England. I said, Your Majesty, I wrote her a letter. I said, Your Majesty, I would like to be knighted. Because I just thought Sir John Hargrave sounded so much more classy, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. It is very classy. It gives you a lot of respect.
Yeah. So I got a letter back from Buckingham Palace on the official letterhead, and it basically said, in order to be knighted, you must do something honorable. And I said, well, that's a lot of work. So I went down to my local county courthouse where you can pay to have your name legally changed. So for $35, I got my name changed. And today, here I am, Sir John Hargrave.
So basically, the Queen told you to bugger off and you just did it yourself.
That's right. It's the easy way to knighthood.
Travis, we should do that. Travis, I want to be Sir Joel.
No, I want to be Zer because I want to be gender specific. Zer Travis to be way better. That's way better. It's like do something noble. Nah, I'm just gonna spend $35 and go down and get my name changed. Way easier. I love that. So you actually had your background is, when you started out, you had this website Zug. Did you say Zug or ZUG, right?
Yeah, that's
and,
right.
You did all kinds of hilarious type of stuff. And so, knowing that Joel and I are a little bit of a pranksters ourselves, what are maybe before we get into some of the crypto stuff, because I know our audience likes funny stuff, what are some of the more hilarious pranks that you pulled?
Well, we did one where we faked Michael Jackson showed up at this $10,000 a plate charity dinner here in Boston, and we hired a lookalike actor to come and basically get in. So they really gave him our fake Michael. They gave him the celebrity treatment. He had his own table. We rented a limo for the evening. It had a whole entourage and everything. And they figured it out just as we were leaving the side door. They came running after us as we're like pushing fake Michael into the limo. And it was all over the front paper of the Boston newspapers.
Oh my gosh! As he was being shoved into the car, into the limo, was he like, "Hee, hands off me"?
I swear it was
just
like something.
Beat it, guys. Just beat
it. Smooth Criminal. It was like something out of a movie. It was just insane.
Oh.
Now, those were was that like YouTube days, or was it before YouTube? Like when was that? Because it sounds like that's the perfect kind of thing for a video.
Yeah, there was a video that went with it. It was just as YouTube was starting to take off. But probably my most well-known prank was something called the credit card prank I did back in the early days. And we basically, you know how like you have to sign your credit card, your signature at every credit card receipt, and like nobody ever checks the signature. I thought that was ridiculous. So I basically went around signing dozens of receipts with just crazy names. It just started with like Beethoven and Zeus. And then it went into like hieroglyphics and like modern art and crazy stuff. And I took pictures of these, put it online. It was one of the first big viral pieces and really built our website, Zug.com, from that piece, the credit card prank.
So kind of in the spirit of Ken Kesey, you are a merry prankster. That's what I'm getting here.
Yeah, I'm kind of a techno prankster. So I started my career basically as kind of a comedy technology writer. And in my book, Blockchain for Everyone, I start with the story of this media company where I worked during the beginning of the internet. And my job was to make this stuff understandable to everyday people and to make it kind of accessible and fun. And so I started out as a comedy writer. I was a geek at heart. I really loved technology, and kind of combining comedy and technology was like my thing. That was my shtick. And then at night, I would pull these outrageous, crazy pranks and write about that on my my humor site, which I ran on the side.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Now, I also want to talk to you about, you wrote a book called Mind Hacking, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's great. I'm actually working on a project called Stacking Skills. It's like, because I think it's sort of in the same line. I think we see, I think maybe we're kindred spirits there, Mr. Zur.
Yeah.
I want to talk about mind hacking a little bit, because I found that a fascinating book. I actually bought that book and I didn't get any crypto refund. So I'd like to get my crypto refund on that one if I could. Tell us, if you could give us a couple of quick little mind hacks for our audience that could really maybe help them level up a little bit. What would you suggest?
Yeah, so the premise behind mind hacking is that your mind is like a computer, and like any computer, your mind can be reprogrammed. And in fact, we have kind of, buggy thinking. We have like bugs in our programming that we can kind of work around. And so I tell the story of my own life and how I had a lot of crazy thinking and behavior going on, and how I managed to kind of reprogram all of that. And we actually have in that book, Mind Hacking, we have a 21-day program that you can follow that basically teaches you these sort of mind hacking exercises that you can use to learn this. So the simplest thing you can do is just to become aware of the mind. So here's a simple thought experiment. Everybody can do it while they're listening to this. Just stop for a second and just think about your mind. That's it. Just think about your mind. And when you do that, you see that there's something called you that's separate from something called your mind. And that separation of those two things is the beginning of mind hacking, because what you have to do is be able to pull yourself out of your mind. Normally, we're lost in the mind movie, the mental movie all day long. If you can start to develop the skill of separating you from your mind, then you can start looking at it like a computer and hacking the code that runs it. And that is ultimately what led me to blockchain, was this understanding that I could build an entirely new life for myself. I could completely reprogram my life, reprogram my thinking, stack skills, Travis, to what I already had, and become a leader of this new blockchain revolution. And that's what happened.
Cow farts! Oh, I'm sorry. I was just thinking about my mind and it glitched.
No, I got to say, I think that's kind of the similar path to how maybe Joel and I came across this, because I was thinking we were having a conversation about, crypto and blockchain quite regularly. And I was like, man, Joel, you and I have got quite a bit of influence here in social media, in the digital marketing space and marketing tech space. I was like, man, I bet it won't take but 6 months for us to have some pretty decent influence in the crypto space if we do this right. And it seemed like it was less than that. I mean, like, we started doing this show and the show took off. And then right when the bull run sort of hit, and we were able to sort of move our influence and move our expertise and start growing. Even though we weren't experts in this space, we started growing our skills in the space. And now, we've done almost 400 episodes of this thing overall when you add all the different types of shows that we've done around Bad Crypto. So it's crazy. And I think that's it. Like, you can literally program yourself to do whatever you want to do if you just decide to do it and can get out of the procrastination that will try to hold you down.
Yeah, so this idea of skill stacking is really what this book, Blockchain for Everyone, is all about. Because in the book, I start out at a similar place where I've got this business. It's successful, but it's not as successful as I would like. I catch crypto fever, and I basically launched the entire business as a blockchain business. And that idea of skill stacking is permeated throughout the book, because I believe the world moves so fast today that we are called upon to constantly be adding to our skill stack, right? We don't have one career anymore. We have many careers. We have many careers, right? Like, you guys know this better than anyone. And that requires lifelong learning. That requires constantly taking what we already know, adding to the skill stack, and using that to make something new that meets the market where it is today. That's what you guys did with your podcast. That's what you're doing right now. That's what I did with the business. And that's what this book teaches you how to do, is stack those skills.
Like it. I dig it a lot. And so now let's go down that crypto rabbit hole, because you said, I don't remember the exact word, but it was something like becoming infatuated with blockchain. When did that happen, and how did it happen?
Well, I bought Bitcoin in 2013, and this is in the one of the first chapters of the book, where I went down to my local bank and I made a wire transfer to Belarus, which was the only place I could find to buy Bitcoin. So I think the price at that point was like $125 per Bitcoin, something like that. I didn't even know where Belarus was on a map. And I'm making this enormous wire transfer, sight unseen, to who knows where. Well, as I'm sending that wire transfer, it turns out it's going to take 3 days to get there, and it's going to cost like $30 in service fees. And I thought, the irony,
Right.
here, that this is exactly the problem that blockchain and crypto is going to solve, is instant transfers of money anywhere, and free or near free transfer anywhere. And so I did end up getting the Bitcoin. And from there, it just became a love affair with this technology called blockchain. And the book is the story of what happened next.
So what happened next?
You have to read the book, Travis.
I got to read the book. See, I don't have the book. Mr. Joe Connell's the one with the book.
That's because I shelled out my money to buy it. I have an autographed copy. It says, Joel, to the sexiest man on the face of the earth, stay back. No, it doesn't say that, but it should stay that.
Sexiest man in the earth. Wow.
Yeah.
Very good. So you have you have three different parts of the book. So it's like you have the Bitcoin and blockchain and how to reinvent yourself, and then you have some funny stories and different things that are in there. So how do you describe blockchain to folks? Because it's always interesting to talk to folks and say, they always ask, well, what is Bitcoin? What is blockchain? And people have sort of a different description of that. And so I think it's very helpful to hear different people's, what's their elevator pitch for blockchain and Bitcoin? What's yours?
I'm going to change your life, because I'm going to give you a blockchain definition in one sentence that everybody can use. Blockchain is the internet of money. Blockchain is the internet of money. It's that simple. So our current internet is the internet of information. And our lifetimes have been this amazing period where all of this information that used to be stored in books and libraries has all been digitized. It's all now in the device that fits in our pocket. That's the internet of information. Blockchain is the internet of money. Now, by money, we mean not just cash, but we mean any kind of value. So broaden the concept of money to stocks and commodities and bonds and frequent flyer points and Starbucks reward points and Chuck E. Cheese tokens. Anything of value can be stored on this new internet of money. And when you start thinking about like that,
I've got some of those Chuck E. Cheese tokens still. I need to go find those, because those are money.
You can digitize those
too.
That's very good. I've discovered that virtual reality is the internet of porn, which is really cool. I don't know if you knew that or not. But
And Travis is the internet of inappropriate. By the way, when you say blockchain is the internet of money, you've created a really cool acronym. It's Bitium. Blockchain is the internet of money. Bitium. So when somebody asks you what's blockchain, you say it's Bitium.
Yeah,
and they'll be like,
a t-shirt.
What? It's Bitium.
That would be a good token name, wouldn't it? Bitium coin.
Very good. Very good. I think that Andreas Antonopoulos has said some of that as well, and it's so true. It's like that hits you right upside the head. It is the internet of money, and it makes it easy to transfer. And there's a whole lot of things that is valuable about this. But blockchain is not just related to money. There's so many. I mean, that's what's so interesting is Gartner has put out their new report, their hype cycle of all these different areas that blockchain is impacting all of these industries. And so it's completely fascinating when you see how ingrained blockchain is going to be within our society. It's crazy.
So we're working on a report. I have a co-author, Evan Karnapakis, and we're working on a new book for O'Reilly. And in fact, our first report called "What is Blockchain?" I think will be out today. The day that your listeners tune into this, and this O'Reilly report, we have to talk about the state of blockchain throughout the industry. So not just Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but really the whole state of blockchain. And I still hold that no matter what the application or use case is, it's still an internet of money. So even if we're talking about healthcare, identity, whatever it is, it's still some kind of value that's being traded between people. And in fact, the only way to get people on blockchain that we have seen is to offer them tokens. It's the only thing that has worked to date, right? It's the only use case. And because of that, everything that we're doing is going to follow that same model of being tokenized with people perceiving that these tokens have some value or can go up in value in the future. This is common sense. This is so simple, but people make it so hard when they try to fit it into the enterprise. Just look at what works, cryptocurrencies.
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Especially like, even fiat currency was like, we're just going to put our faith in this, right? Backed by the trust of the U.S. government, but it's just paper. So what's the difference in these, digital tokens? There isn't any. It's what people believe is of value, right? Yes. That's kind of the bottom line to it. So I'm wondering what you personally believe is going to be the turning point to mainstream adoption. Be specific here. What action do you think is going to need to take place? And maybe tag that with, when do you think that will happen?
China, 3 months. Is that specific enough?
Wow, that is super specific. Okay, well, now let's unpack that. Why?
So China will come out with their own digital currency. This is already in the works. This is widely known. They should have it launched very quickly. And once that happens, nations around the world are going to see that digital currency is the wave of the future. So in other words, every nation, it's going to be kind of a mad dash to get their own version. So there will be a US dollar coin, not like US dollar coin, the stable coin, but a US dollar government-backed coin, and a euro coin and so forth. Because everyone will realize if we don't do this, we run the risk of losing, global influence and global dominance. And the US dollar, because it is kind of the international currency, it will be a very big push to get the US dollar into a digital format very quickly. Now, whether that will look like Bitcoin, I mean, certainly it's going to look very different. It's not going to be decentralized in the same way, but that will really be the accelerant that is going to kick off this whole industry. This, to me, seems inevitable. It seems like common sense that that's how things will play out.
Wow, that is the most specific and confident that I've ever heard anybody state that. And it took me aback. I'm like, wow, China, 3 months. Travis, we were going to talk about that China story on the last Bad News, and I looked at it and I thought, I didn't think it was a big deal. And now I'm kicking myself. I'm like, wait a second. He's right. I'm wrong. This is why.
Thanks for vetoing my stories all the time, God.
This is why I make a great bad co-host.
That's true. You know what? And another thing that's happening actually happens today is Wells Fargo is launching their stable coin. That way that they can easily allow their customers to easily transfer cash from point A to point B is sort of an internal thing. But, JP Morgan, they're doing their JPM coin and some of that other stuff. So like we're seeing these things happen in the peripheral, right? So not everybody sees this, but if you're in the blockchain crypto space day in, day out, like we are, we see it. So we see the adoption happening slowly, but eventually it's going to eat the world, right? And I think that, I thought that's going to be a huge thing when China does their digital yuan, that in the renminbi, that is big news. And some of these other countries are starting to do that, and they're starting to explore that, and these banks are starting to explore that. And again, as you mentioned, not decentralized. So, I think as more of these centralized, things start popping up, hopefully my hope is that, folks start seeing, wait a second, why do we don't need to have these centralized companies managing all of this when we have these decentralized solutions? And so do you think that's going to maybe bring more people over to Bitcoin over time?
Yeah, I'll tell you the end game. The end game is one money. It's one world. It's one planet. We're going to have one money.
What they want, for sure.
I hear Bob Marley, one money.
It's, we live, look, we get it. We're in a global economy. We need a global currency. And that's just going to speed up.
Well, the global reserve currency is the dollar right now, right? Yeah, it's the dollar.
Correct.
So do you think, is Bitcoin going to be the global reserve currency down the road? Or is it going to be, you say one, right now there's 10,000 cryptocurrencies. And you think eventually all those are going to go away?
That I don't know. I just know that it's inevitable that we will have one money at the end of the day. And whether that is a digital dollar, that is one way that this might play out. Whether it's Bitcoin, that's another way it might play out. Or whether it's something totally new, what I would love to see is sort of a United Nations style approach where everyone comes together and we have, we have multilateral buy-in from all the nations of the earth. And that is Bob Marley right there. All contributing this global currency. That would be the best way, I think, for it to end up. But it's going to happen. That's the end game for sure.
Yeah, that's terrifying because it's like once I don't like the idea of there being one sort of thing that's controlled outside of the people. If it's controlled by the nations, those globalists out there, they want to control the world. I think that if we get to the point where we have one currency, the authoritarian sort of we're going to be deep in an authoritarian dystopia if that happens.
See, I see it the opposite way. I see it as we're in that right now. I see it that when we have any nations that have an undue influence over the global economy, there's an unfair balance of power. And I see this as being more of an equalizing force and more fair and equitable to everyone. And this is going to, open up trade. It's going to provide access for the unbanked, and it's going to unlock a new era of prosperity and wealth.
Until they lock your wallet, right? Because if it's the only thing that you can use, we've seen how these countries are. China, look at what they do. They have that China social credit system where if you aren't a good citizen, well, guess what? You can't fly, you can't get on a train anymore, and they can lock up your wallet on WeChat, WePay, and that's scary. If there's just one, then there's no alternative. And we know how human nature is. Those who are going to be in charge of that, typically once they gain power, they want more power, and then they get this inflated ego, and then they start, mandating things that it's not normally good for society when there's just sort of a control. I don't know. It just seems to me that I like the idea of it. It seems sort of rainbowy and unicorny, and I like that. I would like to believe in, human nature, but we've seen human nature. It's once they gain power and gain control, you get crazy dictators and people who are warmongers that want to, Alexander the Great and, Genghis Khan, they want to take over the world. And so I don't know if there's one currency, one power, the people who run that are going to have way too much power. It's got to be decentralized in some way where the people or the nation states start, have insight. It can't be a one controlling sort of just like the IMF or the World Bank. That wouldn't work, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. It needs to be decentralized in some way. And I think that's the great challenge we're facing right now is like what part should be decentralized and what parts should be centralized? Because we certainly see that when everything is completely decentralized, we have a problem reaching consensus on important decisions, right? So Bitcoin has been forked like over a dozen times because people can't decide on which direction Bitcoin should go. Well, that's not good for anyone. So we need to make sure that we've got sort of structures in place that give us some measure of sort of centralization when we need it, like coming to consensus, and then we have decentralization everywhere else.
So, Sir John, I feel like I should talk to you like this. If you're going to be royalty, we've invited Sir Paul and Sir Elton on the show, and neither one of them have commented on being here. But since you're here, I want to ask: do you believe that the U.S. economy must collapse in order for cryptocurrency to rise here, or is it possible that the dollar can be saved in exchange to crypto before doomsday occurs?
Yes, it's quite.
Rather.
I think that we don't need a complete meltdown of the economy. However, the New York Times recently ran a piece called "A Recession is Coming Eventually."
Right.
How's that for hedging?
Well, everything goes in cycles. I mean, of course, it's coming eventually. That's like the sun will set sometime today.
Yeah, that's right. So I think that recession is coming eventually, and I do believe that may be a catalyst for greater adoption of these assets. Look, we've certainly seen that there is a subset, at least, of people who think of Bitcoin like digital gold, right? And just as so-called safe havens like gold and investments like that tend to rise in value when people perceive that the economy is in a free fall or on its way down. We may see a very similar thing happening with the crypto and digital asset market as the U.S. economy declines. So I wouldn't say a complete meltdown, but I would say that I would expect to see that help the digital asset class overall.
Maybe not a meltdown, maybe just a little bit of ooze.
Yeah, that's my hypothesis anyway.
I think there's enough people melting down in this country right now. Like we are seeing demonstrated a severe lack of emotional intelligence with just a bunch of whiny crybabies. Everybody's protesting something. Can we not just get about with the business of doing good and making things better? Yeah,
that's very much what we're trying to do. That's a big part of the philosophy. I'll tell you a funny story. I was at this speaking engagement, and it was a bunch of certified financial advisors. So it was a CFA chapter. There was a young man there, and after I gave my talk, he came up to me and said, I really believe in this crypto thing because I believe we're in the end times. And I looked closely to see if he was joking, but he wasn't. He was like, I think we're in the end times, and I think this talk of one world money is a sign of the end times, and I'm totally on board with you. I'm like, wait a minute, dude, you just put a totally different interpretation on what I was saying.
Well, actually, so coming from a spiritual background and having been in the Christian church, I understand. I'm not saying I agree with them, but I understand where they're coming from because,
yes.
The Bible, the book of Revelation talks about, the mark of the beast and a lot of in that you won't be able to buy or sell without this mark. Right now, a lot of people have said, well, that's RFID, that's chipping people, right? So that you have to have this chip embedded in you, and it makes sense that if there's going to be a one world currency, that crypto would be that digital method, and then you'd have to be chipped in order to spend and buy and sell. So you could read into anything. People have been predicting the end of the world for as long as there's been a world, and so there's nothing new under the sun.
I have the same Christian background as well, and I remember as a kid people talking about how originally people thought Social Security numbers were the same thing. They were like the mark of the beast, like we're all going to have a number. And while it is kind of creepy when you think about the Social Security number, that you as a person are reduced to a number. seems like things have gone on pretty much the way they always have.
What's creepy about Social Security is that if we didn't have it and instead you were compelled, let's say, to invest that into any investment out there, even if you were just getting 2% for a money market, you would have so much more money upon retirement than you're going to get from Social Security. That's what's ridiculous about that.
Mm-hmm. And I got to say, I disagree with you, John. That was not a funny story at all. That story is not very funny. Let's talk about an actual funny story. You literally had to write this book twice. What happened to make you have to do over the book?
Travis, that's not a funny story at all.
Okay, but it's funny to me.
Well, tell it in a funny voice.
No, it's not funny. It's very painful to recount the story. So I wrote the book the first time, and basically the concept behind this book was we're going to do a user-friendly guide to blockchain, right? Because all the books out there, I fall asleep by the third chapter. And I'm like, I want to write something that's just really interesting to read and makes it accessible, user-friendly. So I write this book and I slave over it. It's hard work, as you know, Joel. Hard work to write a book. I get all the way done. I submit it to my editor, the great Jeremy Ruby Strauss at Simon & Schuster. And I've worked with Jeremy on 3 books. He's done all these New York Times best-selling books. I trust him completely. So Jeremy says to me, he goes, well, John, this is how he talks. He goes, John, I read your book. There were 4 sections to the book. And he goes, the first section is pretty good. Second section needs some work. Third section, I think we need to rewrite completely. And the 4th section, just get rid of that. And I'm like, thank you very much, Jeremy. You dick. Yeah. I didn't say that because he's the best. And I took some time off, reread it, and then I was like, he's right. Because what I did was I tried to make sort of essays about what blockchain is and how it's going to change the world. And I realized that what we need to do is to tell a story, because the human brain is hardwired for stories. What is the book of Genesis, Joel? But just a collection of our oldest stories. So I said, I got to tell a story. I got to make it like a hero's journey. It's got to have a beginning, middle, and end. It's got to have a call. And the story, the best story, was the story of this company that we're building and that we had put in the blockchain. The story of this company that I had taken everything. I've been building this company for 15 years. And then one day decided to gamble the entire company into blockchain. It's like being at a poker table and going all in. I went all in on my company on blockchain. It was great for 2017, this exciting rise. And then the crypto winter of 2018 hit, and it was devastating. And it was awful. It was horrific. And how we made it through that. And so in a way, what our story is the story, kind of a microcosm of the larger picture of this entire blockchain industry, the macrocosm. So I sent him rewrote the whole book. I sent him the second manuscript. And Jeremy calls me up the next day and he goes, we got a page turner. I read the whole thing. He goes, I read the whole thing. 9 hours. I sat down and read it cover to cover. I never do that. And I said, Jeremy, I'm going to take that feedback and I'm just going to feed on it for the next year. Thank you.
Fuel for my soul.
Does Jeremy actually sound like that?
He does. Like that. He sounds a little bit like this. Yeah, a little bit.
Well, the book is called Blockchain for Everyone, How I Learned the Secrets of the New Millionaire Class, and you can too. And you mentioned early on in the show that I did purchase the book from you, and then you said, get out your Coinbase wallet, and you sent me $25 in DAI crypto, which is a stable coin, which is actually worth $25.32 today. So it's a little unstable, I just might say. But talk a little bit about
you made money.
Why you're doing. Yeah, I did. I made money. Why is this promotion? And tell people how to participate.
So originally I said, how cool would it be if we gave away a little bit of Bitcoin with every book? Never been done before. And I said, think about this. Let's say you give away $10 worth of Bitcoin with every book, and then the price of Bitcoin shoots through the roof. The price of Bitcoin might be worth more than the book. And I said, you wouldn't be able to keep it on shelves. You'd have to hire security guards and bookstores to protect it. And Jeremy, he goes, John, that's how he talks. He goes, the last time I heard an original idea in the book business was never. And that is an original idea. And I said, I will feed on that. So it turns out, though, actually bundling Bitcoin with books is extremely difficult because books are physical objects and they can be returned to bookstores. So there were about 1,000 calls that we had with Simon & Schuster Legal and so forth. So meanwhile, Coinbase we started a dialogue with them, and Coinbase said, well, we're working with Maker that makes the stable coin called DAI. And they're looking to basically get DAI into more wallets, and we're looking to get wallets on more phones. And they would be interested in essentially partnering up to give away $10 worth of DAI for every book that you sell. So we actually got this working. And I said, this is awesome. It would be even better if you gave $25 worth of DAI. Because think about this. The book costs about $25. Now you get $25 worth of DAI. You basically get the book for free. And they said, let's do it. So courtesy of Maker and Coinbase, folks who are listening to the Bad Crypto podcast can get a special bonus when you buy the book through blockchainforeveryone.com. You got to buy it through that purchase order form. We'll send you $25 worth of DAI to your Coinbase wallet, thanks to Maker.
That's huge. That's really good. I love that. Love it. Love it. Hey, so you actually had a scene in the book that I read that you went to the Fed and you were trying to undo the Fed at the Fed. Like what was going on there?
So I was invited to this blockchain conference at the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve is, of course, the central bank of the United States. It's an institution, but it's also a building. It's a series of buildings. There are branches to the Federal Reserve, just like branches of your local bank. So one of these is in Boston, and it's this enormous, intimidating white monolith. It looks like those monoliths in 2001. It's like that, but white. Mm-hmm. And so you go in this
sort of prisonish. It's so big and no windows in some places. The ones that I've seen, there's one here in Kansas City that's just huge and windowless at some of the areas where the vaults are. It's crazy.
Yeah, and these vaults have, by the way, millions of dollars of cash, right? So I'm at the Fed, I'm at this conference, and then I take a meeting where, again, we have this blockchain marketing and media company called Media Shower, and I'm taking a video conference call, and the only place I could find to take it was the lunchroom. So I'm in the belly of the beast, literally, the commissary of the Fed. And here I am on a call with a potential client who wants to create a new stable coin to replace the US dollar. So if you want to know the meaning of the word irony, think about sitting in the belly of the Federal Reserve working on a deal that will undo the Federal Reserve. And I realized at that moment, like, how crazy this industry that we're in really is. We're literally working to dismantle entire economic systems in order to build new ones. It's so ironic. Don't you guys see this every day?
Absolutely. It's crazy. And that's why there's so many people that are protecting the old way and that they're scared of what, cryptocurrency means.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't even know what fiat currency means, which is like, you think we go through all this school and then post-education in college, and most people still have no idea what fiat currency is, or fractional reserve banking, or, the power of 72 and compounding interest. And a lot of that stuff is completely unknown to folks, which is a mind blow. You got to learn on your own, which is why stacking skills independently outside of the school system is so important.
Yeah, why don't we teach money in schools?
Yeah, they don't want us to learn that. They want us to get lots of debt. You want $100,000 worth of debt immediately. Go to college. It's like,
no, but I'm serious. That would be such a useful, applied mathematics, which is all about personal finances, loans, mortgages, debt, stocks, commodities, all that. That would be extremely useful for kids.
Pretty much the most important life skills you need to know aren't taught to them.
Yeah. Parenting too. I don't know why there's no parenting school. Can somebody explain that?
That is, all makes a lot of sense. I think we've got teachers unions that are protecting that system as well, right? This is the way things work, and it's unfortunate. And I'm glad that people like you were here to shake things up with your wacky pranks,
my wacky
and your diabolical laughter. Well, this is great. I think our people are they're going to want to connect with you. They're going to want to get this book. We recommend that everybody go to blockchainforeveryone.com, buy the book, and then get $25 in DAI crypto in your Coinbase wallet. It's a great offer. You can learn more about John in the show notes for this episode. And John, do you have a website for yourself that you like to send people to?
Well, blockchainforeveryone.com is where you'll get the free offer of the $25 in DAI, courtesy of Maker and Coinbase. And you can also sign up for our free weekly newsletter at bitcoinmarketjournal.com, That's for blockchain investors. And I write a weekly column for that comes straight to your inbox.
That's great. Well, thanks again for joining us. We'll have to have you back again here with some more wacky fun.
Was it the best ever? Maybe top 10. Was it in the top 10? Top 20? Was it in the top 40?
It was in the top 150, I think.
Yeah,
at least. We got to do the quantitative math here first.
With a bullet, for sure. And now you know the rest of the story about Sir John Hargrave. This book is really attractive, by the way. It's a hardcover. It's got this orange cover to it, and then it's got a $1 million Bitcoin dollar on the front, and and he autographed mine. He did not autograph it, as I said in the show, but he did say, Joel, health, wealth, and happiness. P.S. Stay bad. So he gets
nice. That is good. I wonder. So I ordered a copy of the book because you get the $25 worth of DAI. You actually bought it in person for $25. Yep. If you buy it on the website, it's a little bit more plus shipping, but definitely looks like a great book.
Yeah, it was like $28 I think I gave him. And then I downloaded the Coinbase wallet, which, sorry to our sponsor eToro, but that's what he was using for it. And the DAI showed up, 10 minutes later in that wallet. DAI.
That is not very nice of you to tell me, Mr. Jocom. I was muted and I was sneezing, and you're telling me to die?
DAI.
Oh, okay. That's different.
Stable coin. So speaking of coins, as we are wont to do, there is one token that has been a sponsor of the show for some time, and they're developing some good stuff. What's their name?
That company is Nazgo. Nazgo is the GoDaddy of blockchain. You can tokenize your business or your influence today with no coding required. They've really developed an easy solution for businesses and influencers to transition into the blockchain frontier. So they have a very easy to use Nazgo wallet, provides all the tools that you need. So go ahead and check it out. We featured them on badco.in/282. You can check them out at Nazgo, NASGO.com.
Very cool. In some other news, Mr. Travis Wright, when we were at Podcast Movement here just a couple months ago, we discovered the Himalaya App, Himalaya, just like it should be spelled. And this is a really cool app for discovering, listening, and organizing podcasts. And it turns out Bad Crypto is now in the Himalaya app. So this is just another way for you guys to be able to download and listen to this show. Maybe give it a try. They have a function in there called Himalaya Plus, which certain podcasts offer additional content to people who listen in the Himalaya app. For example, I'm just on their website right now, and I clicked on Dumb People Town, and it has Himalaya Plus, and they have a community that you can join there for a low fee each month that gives exclusive episodes, a member community, ad-free, early access, and that type of thing. So download the Himalaya app, check it out, make sure you subscribe to Bad Crypto on the app as well.
Wait a second. You did not call the citizens of Bad Cryptopia dumb people town, did you?
I did not.
That's true. You did not.
I would never do that.
That is so funny. Like they literally named their podcast "Dumb People Town." Hey, come to Dumb People Town. This is where all the smart people hang out.
Well, I think I'm guessing that what it's about is so it's as much an exploration as it is a celebration of dumb people doing dumb things.
So it's sort of like Darwin's principle.
Yeah, I might have to listen to this now. They've had Weird Al on the show, so these guys are my heroes automatically.
That's great.
Now I kind of want to listen to Dumb People Town.
So download it on iOS or Android, Himalaya, and you can listen to Bad Crypto there. Just another place.
Just more dumb people.
Hang out with more dumb people using Himalaya.
Right on. More places to get your fix of crypto clowning. We hope that you guys enjoyed the show today. We've got a lot of great content coming your way. We have many interviews planned with leaders in the blockchain space, and we are just 1 month away now, Mr. Travis Wright, from Vegas Blockchain Week and World Crypticon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. That was so much fun last year. And we're looking forward to seeing all of the amazing friends and folks that that we've already known, and then folks that maybe we've not met before. I know they're selling quite a few tickets. Sounds to me like it's going to be a pretty amazing event there at World CryptoCon. But it's not just World CryptoCon, right? Charlie Shrem has an event. Litecoin has an event. What's the other one there? What's Michael Turpin's event?
Yep, the world the crypto poker tournament is taking place at Mike Tyson's mansion. Mike, are the Tigers going to be there?
That's going to be so amazing. We're going to have some Tigers there just because they're there for the snacks.
I hope he shows up so he can punch you in the face. I
don't want Mike Tyson to punch me in the face. I'm going to punch him in the face because I'm Mike Tyson.
And Cryptoween is happening on October 31st. And I cannot confirm this absolutely yet, Travis, but I know for sure my brother is coming. He's a huge Vegas fan. He's 2 years older than me. He's coming, and he is going to be
I'll punch him in the mouth.
He wouldn't like that. He is looking forward to meeting you, though. But if we can get this done, he's going to be dressed up as a bad coin.
Oh, man. That is funny. So we maybe found somebody who can create a real life bad coin uniform. Nice. Wow.
Yep. Go to worldcrypticon.com and you can see all of the Vegas Blockchain Week events. So you get a ticket for the whole dang thing. And there are so many events: Coin Agenda, Crypto IQ, Litecoin Summit, the Lightning Cup Series sports event, the Stansberry Research Ultra VIP event, the Top Golf Ultra VIP, the EOS Alliance Summit, the Crypto Wendio official Vegas Blockchain Week meetup. Bit Angels are going to be there. This is like, meet us in Vegas. We're going to be doing our show at the culminating event, which is World Crypticon, October 29th through 31st. And this is a must attend. You guys need to be there.
Yeah. And Money 2020 is going on too during the same time. So there's the opportunities for there to be serendipity to run into really big players in Vegas Blockchain Week is just astronomical. The chances, they're very good for you. The chances are, if you're meeting somebody awesome, are pretty good. So I would say come to the event if you've thought about it, if you're teetering, trying to think about doing it.
And Travis, I believe that there is a discount code as well, but you need to go to the website, go to badco.in/315, and we'll have a link to World Crypticon along with a coupon code that you can use in the text there so that you can save some money. I don't know what it is they're offering this year, but we'll provide that to you guys because we love you so very much.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Joe Com.
I didn't say I love you. I said we love them.
Oh, that's cool too. We love them too.
I do love you. There is nobody I would rather be on this journey down the crypto rabbit hole than you, Mr. Travis Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Joe Com. That's so sweet. I concur. We're having a good ride. Seriously, we've been doing this now for almost 2.5 years, and you're still not sick of me yet.
I'm a little sick of you.
That's good. Well, okay, that's like what percentage? Like about 20%, 30%?
Yeah, I would say more like 18% sick of you.
Okay, that's good. That's good. 82% still not sick of me. That's
I am officially 82% not sick of you. That is true.
Because I like to look on the sunny side of life.
And I am 100% not sick of our audience. You guys are the best. Keep listening. Please do comment, review, share, and most of all, never forget Her Majesty would will you to stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.